regarding outsourcing?
Well, our concern is that as the U.S. economy is struggling to recover from this terrible recession, one of the problems that we have is that we are importing too many of the goods that we consume here in the United States. And if we don't figure out how to produce more things and how to compete more successfully in the global economy, we're afraid that we are going to continue to borrow from the rest of the world to fund consumption of goods that we're not producing. And in order for the United States to be a strong country, we have to figure out how to do a better job of supporting manufacturers here in the United States of America and supporting the workers, of course, who produce those goods. And I think that's really the key challenge that the United States faces.
The unemployment rate rose from 4.4% in March of 2007 to 9.9% in March of 2010. Manufacturing employment in the United States collapsed from a high of 19.5 million workers in June of 1970. Data from the U.S. Department of Commerce showed that U.S. multinational companies shifted millions of jobs overseas in the 2000s.
China and India were once.
According to a 2012 survey from Duke's Fuqua School of Business, nearly three-quarters of respondents indicated labor cost savings as one of the three most important drivers leading to overseas outsourcing. The United States Import and Export Price Index went from 96.9% in 2003 to private equity firms have increased the pressure to cut costs by any means necessary. I interviewed Bill Moffitt. He's a national sales manager for the company Saint-Gobain Performance Plastic.
In the past 10 years, has your company outsourced? If so, where to?
Yes, we've outsourced 2 plants, moved down to Saltillo, Mexico, back in 2008.
In 2010, about 1,600 jobs in your business field were moved offshore due to outsourcing. How many jobs were lost in your company?
Approximately 150 jobs from 2 plants, one based in Bristol, Rhode Island, and another one based in Elk Grove, Illinois.
In an interview with William Cohen, he states that outsourcing will in fact actually do the opposite and in the long term benefit the economy and improve the creation of more jobs.
Job shipped over, we lose 1 job here. And what the statistics show is that actually by the companies, when they start to slim their operations or invest overseas, they are actually making profits so they can really go back to their core competency. They actually create more jobs at home. A study was done by a professor at Dartmouth, Tuck, the business school at Dartmouth, pointing out that it's almost a 2-to-1 ratio, that almost 2 jobs have been created. Now that was early on, between I think 87 and 2001. But nonetheless, we have to look at what these companies who do outsource, what do they do in terms of making their domestic operations more efficient, to generate more profits. Those profits can be used to keep the level playing force they have, or hopefully in this case actually increase it. And so that has to be taken into account. There are job losses. There are definitely job losses at certain levels. Those need to be replaced, and they're usually replaced at higher paying jobs as a result of these overseas investments.
New technology has been making it more and more possible for firms to contract different services. I sat down with Vice President of Sales Mike Fisher from Gersheimer Glass to see what he had to say on the controversy of outsourcing.
Aspects. The realization of great savings, connect different interests between clients and the vendors vendors' expertise can help achieve the client's objectives. Which of these influenced your company to outsource the most, and how much do you think it has affected you differently if your company chose not to outsource?
I would say that our company chose to outsource primarily for the improvement in costs. Our products have a high...
With outsourcing, several companies deal with the threat of opportunism, which is the lack of trust that a vendor has to complete the product. Have any of your clients lost their trust in your company since outsourcing?
Well, outsourcing does represent challenges. We're in a highly regulated environment. Our customers' products are regulated by the Federal Food and Drug Administration. Our customers are very concerned about our ability to manage the process. We haven't lost any trust from any customers, but we manage that aspect by auditing our suppliers and having a highly detailed protocol for their supplying us with the specific products that we source from them.
On average, outsourcing cuts up to 68% annually. How productive has outsourcing been for your company?
Initially, it was actually very productive, but as time went on, we realized that cheaper labor was resulting in poor workmanship, lesser quality product, which really hurt us in the long run because we had lost customers due to the fact that the product didn't work as long and wasn't as performing well as it once did.
1.6% of job losses in 2004 and 2006 were from outsourcing. Do you believe that outsourcing has affected the overall market system in a positive or negative manner, and why?
I believe it's affected the market in a very positive manner. While you may have had a short-term job losses during those periods, I would say that if I look at our experiences, they're probably reflective of the market in general. So you may have had some short-term job losses, but I think overall the effects of outsourcing have improved the job market in the United States. In our example, if we had not outsourced a lot of our production to Mexico, Chinese manufacturers would have come in and taken market share away from us, and we would have had no production here in the United States. By being able to leverage our production in Mexico, we actually take some of the raw materials and produce some of the components here, have them assembled in Mexico and brought into the U.S. market. And we've been so successful with that, we've actually been able to ship some of those products back to other countries like India. So it saved jobs here, and I believe overall, in the end, it ended up growing jobs in the United States as well.
Throughout the years, companies all across the nation have abandoned their domestic production methods and have instead sought to run their operations from overseas. This method that adapting businesses have worked for is called outsourcing. Outsourcing, above all else, should be one of the most talked about things in